Hey guys, so what a roller coaster of a day today. Let's bring over the P and L over here, and you can see why I'm saying it's a roller coaster. So, okay. So first off, this cool loss was not so cool. Uh, it really shouldn't have been that much. I did take more size than I should have, and then I got out for a small loss. And when I tried to get back in, I had bigger size again, but then when I tried to get out, I got an error message and couldn't sell. So I had to sell like a lot lower. And also by that time the bids were so thin that I had to take such a huge loss. Like I got filled so much lower than I meant to, and it was a $530 loss. That should have been like 200, 250. So that kind of pissed me off. But past that, I didn't really do anything too crazy today. I had two pretty good winners here. There was a bunch of trades in here, so this wasn't just 2,800 shares all at once. There was scalps. There was a couple trades like in and out, and most of them went well, but some of them didn't. And I think the ones that didn't were influenced by the fact that I had this loss and I was jumping in a little too preemptively, and I know that that's been a problem with me, and I still controlled it like a bit, but it definitely affected some of my decisions. So thank God that I had I had good accuracy, so a lot of those scalps were actually fine, but some of them I did lose money, and I kept the losses small, so this fluctuated between, like, I was up 170, and then I was down to 120, and then up to 180, and down to 150, and then up to 201. And those losses are ones that I shouldn't have been in, but the wins, I'll call it, were good scalps. So I'll just show you the video here. Let's take a peek. First trade on BPTH. It was coming up here on pre-market. I took a really tiny trade on it pre-market. You can see at 901. 300 shares, I lost 2 cents, so I was already down $8 on the day. I don't know, I felt like doing it. It seemed like a really, really low risk buy right around in here, because it was the leading gapper at the time, and I just thought I would take a stab at it, and I only used 300 shares, and I had 2 cents of risk, so, that was fine for me. So anyways, the bell rings here, and I'm looking to get in over this kind of pivot point right here at $3, so that it can potentially retest the highs of 348, or at least most likely get into the 20s. That's my goal. I know it's pulled back quite a bit, so I don't expect it to go all the way back up right away. But that's what I was thinking. So it does start to prop itself up right when the bell rings. So I get in. I'm using 600 shares now, so I get in with 600 shares. Everything is good. I watch for the resistance at $3. As it kind of bursts through, I put 400 shares up on the ask. They get filled. It's pushing through a bit more. I put 200 more shares up at 308. Doesn't get filled, so I just bail out. I hit my bailout key, so I dump it on the bid. And at the time, the bid was 303, so the last 200 shares were out at 303. Just a quick win. It would have been, over $40 if it was, if I didn't have that loss pre-market. And I pretty much captured that entire move. I was in at 296, kind of in this area, maybe a little bit late, but not really. That was a good entry. And then I got out, a 10-cent winner, or not even 10 cents. So I thought that was a pretty decent trade. Sure enough, it pulls back right away, and there's some heavy sellers here on the ask. So, that was that. The next one that I get into here, this is where it gets fun. So I see cool popping up. I missed that very first entry. So I try and get in here at 230. Don't get filled. And I get filled as it comes back down. So that was really unfortunate here. I didn't... Maybe in retrospect I should have tried to get out sooner. knowing that this just came out of nowhere for no reason. I don't think there was any news, and also the daily down here does not look very good. Like, it looks like kind of a pop and drop. So that was my mistake. This is where it all went wrong. Let's just fast forward to... So I took a loss on it. I got out kind of when I should have, you know, bought and sold. That was a pretty good a loss right there, like a 7-cent loss. That's pretty tight. So, but I know this one has potential because in the past it has made moves. You can't see it on here, but Cool is a stock that is known to kind of pop up and then come back down. So I didn't think it was quite over yet. There's a lot of volume in here. I saw the buying coming in at between 205 and 210, so I jumped in again. But it wasn't really resolving here. So I think I accidentally took double the shares. I have a warning to warn me if I go over my max position size. You can see it here. If I go into File up here, Global Configuration, Presets, Stocks. I have a size limit of 600 shares, so I don't know why it let me take that trade. And that's also unfortunate, because I had to take the loss again. Let's just fast forward it here. I took the loss. It was only a 3 or 4 cent loss here. 4 cent, 4.5 cents. So again, that was a pretty tight loss. I mean, that's fine. I just shouldn't really have taken the trade in the first place. Maybe I should have waited for it to break over 215, so the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. That was my mistake there. So being down 100 on this wasn't that bad. Considering it was 1,200 shares, that's maybe like it's under 10 cents per share of a loss. So that's fine. Now, where it wasn't fine, what happened here? SLS. So I held on to SLS. I got in a little too high. I was looking at something else. I was kind of sloppy, and I made it work, but the trading today was just a little bit sloppy to begin with. So I hold on here. I'm not taking profit quite yet because I know that this has room up to yesterday's high, which was I think 1060 something. So I'm holding on. I'm waiting for it to make another break through 10 or 950 here. So once it gets up to 950, you can see it's straight past. I'm still holding on to I only have 300 shares, because I don't have enough to take 600 shares in this account. So I could only take 300. So I'm still holding on. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for that time to get the fill. Where is it here? So it pushes through the high again. So its current high is 975. So everyone getting short in this area, thinking that it's over, will have to cover, or should cover, as it pushes through the high of day. And there will be new buyers coming in at the same time. So my thought process is, okay, it's probably, if it does it again, it's going to get halted. So right there, it just pushed right through 975, and we're already up close to 10. I can't remember where I take profit here. Let's look. I see the heavy resistance around $10. So right at 10, I put 300 shares up. It actually put them up at 997. You can't see it down here because it's behind my camera, but the order went through. Right here you can see 913 to 997 for a $250 win. That's pretty good. Let's keep going here and see what I did. So SLS, I got in again for another scalp here, a fairly low risk scalp. And it's moving up, it's moving up. So I try and put my shares up. Unfortunately, it came down right as I did that. And then, so I'm in at 982, 983. And I get out right away as it's coming back down again. And then I took a, what is that, a 1 or a half a cent loss, or like 0.01, or like 10% of 1 penny of a loss, so that was fine. I think we missed Yeah, we missed a loss that I took in here. So it came back up to test $10, and I thought with this power it was going to burst through 10. So I take my 300 shares at 996, and instantly we're back down to 980. So I knew that this was not... That was too overextended. I shouldn't have been in it, even though it looks like kind of a flat top, like a wedge type of breakout. And knowing that we had room up to 1060, I thought I was going to keep going. But I saw this, I did not like this at all. And then I eventually got out of this. I tried to get out as it comes back towards 10, and I don't get out. I have my shares up there. And yeah, it was not looking pretty here. This is my unrealized. You can see it's really not pretty. I know people are trying to, get in on the dip, and they might sell as it comes back up a bit. So I have a stop here in my head of 950, like a very hard stop, because if it bursts through the low of this candle, we're definitely done with the action. So that's exactly what happened. Sold 960, and that was that. There's another trade on it. Let me show you here. Where are we at? Yes, so MYND. MYND came out of nowhere. I tried to get in on this right before it was halted here. There's really, really low volume. I just barely missed it. So, I get in after the halt for the break of $3. So look at, I'm already up 212. This thing was a crazy mover. On the daily here, it looks really good. We have room up to these moving averages, so maybe around 350, somewhere in that area. So, it's hovering around $3, 308. Kind of does its thing. It dips back down towards the 9 moving average, and then it pops back up again past where it was before, and I'm up pretty big on this. For some reason, I didn't take profit there. I was getting a little greedy on this one. I think because of that huge loss on KONE. So, all right. So it surges through the highs again of 335, and I get out there for 600 shares. I lock in $300, and I'm still up another 230 on the shares that I have left. So it bursted through 350. I tried to get my shares sold at 259, didn't get filled. 258 didn't get filled. I wasn't getting filled, and I was still holding on, trying to get fills in here. And finally I get filled at 340 for the rest of my shares. Or for, sorry, 200 more shares. I lock in another, 100 and whatever. And I let the rest kind of do their thing. I tried to get out there just before it dipped, but I didn't. So I just dumped it at 338 for a $480 winner. Well, that was great. That was awesome. I don't think I really do much. Oh, I take another scalp in here. Let me show you that. Very, very tiny scalp. I think I get in for the break of the highs, which is 360 here. So I get in, and I'm already trying to get out. See, I keep lowering my order until it gets filled. That was kind of sloppy, and I only ended up with, 5 cents profit. So I was like, okay, I had my redemption. I'm green on the day. I'm not going to push it. Let's see if there was another scalp in here. I don't think there was. So let's open up the P&L here. So second day, I'm only up 88 or 113 Canadian. That was because of this loss. I'm going to blame it on... It was partially me, but the fact that it was so big was not... I mean, it's my fault that I don't have a better system in place, so... I think it's because I hit the keys so fast so many times. Like when I bail out, it like that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Order cancelled.
Wow, I almost bought some shares there. That would have not been good. So what I hit it so fast that it screws up how many shares it thinks I have in orders already, or something like that. So it gives me that warning message, and then I have to close the warning message to try to another order. So I don't know. I guess I just have to slow down with the bailout key. Just hit it slower. It's still gonna get me out. So finishing up, $113 today. Not terrible. It could have been a lot more, but I'm still learning. Green is good. I followed rules, but I did not follow my size. You saw I took more than 600 shares. I need to not do that, because if I take 1,200 shares and I take a 10-cent loss or 20-cent loss, that's over $200. But then if my next position, like it was on SLS, remember I took 300 shares. So if I make double that profit, 40 cents on 300 shares, that's only a $120 winner. So I'm not properly managing my position size and my risk so that my winners are bigger than my losers. Because if, like I said, if you risk more money and you take a normal loss, it's going to be bigger than taking a big win on a small amount of shares. I don't know if that made any sense. I tried to explain it. But anyways, let's try and finish this week green. I'm going to keep forcing the discipline. I might have overtraded a little bit today, but not nearly as much. So I'm headed in the right direction. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.